In this video, I will be unboxing and reviewing the Neewer RGB LED Photography Lighting Kit. This lighting kit is quite large. It comes with 3 LED lights. It also comes with an empty sandbag, which is pretty cool, a power adapter, and a 2.4 gigahertz remote control. So all the lights are controlled by this remote, which is really cool, or you can manually control each one. It also comes with a boom arm, a light stand, and a carrying bag, which is really nicely padded up, and a pivot adapter for that sandbag and to get the lights just as you need them. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Review Dad.
Hello?
If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel so I can release some more of these cool videos that I'm doing for you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps spread it to people that would like to see reviews like this and products that are available that they are looking for. So stick around, I'll be showing you the unboxing of this great product with all the parts and accessories, and I will also go into the operation of how cool these lights actually are with the remote. It's some really cool stuff, so stick around, it's going to be an awesome review. So after unpacking everything, let's have a look at what is inside this cool package of lighting equipment. So we've got 3 plugs, one for each light. We've also got the boom arm rotator device thing here that we're looking at with quite a few levers, so that's used with the sandbag and that. We've also got the remote. The remote's pretty cool, it's quite a nice size. You'll see I compare it to a Sharpie. It also comes with a space for 2 AAA batteries. Those are not included, so you need to get 2 AAA batteries for that. Then moving on, we can see you get a little manual, and that shows you how to use the lights with the remote, as well as how to set them up and all those cool features that come with a manual. So moving on to the sandbag, we can see the sandbag is quite tough and strong. It's made of quite a nice material. What I do notice is if you do use sand, it will get caught inside the bag and create quite a mess. It does have Velcro straps to hold the sand in, but my suggestion is put the sand in some plastic bags and then put them into this bag. And you can see it comes with a little screw hook which fits onto one of the arms, which I will show you later on in the video. Having a look at the tripod stands, you can see I'm holding the one on the left, which is much bigger than the other two. Now this one would be used with the sandbag as it can hold more weight. So you can actually see it's quite a bit bigger, much thicker. There's a couple of tightening levers and screws on them, so you can extend the poles as high or as low as you want. The tripods also open up very easily, as you can see, and the legs can spread quite wide apart or quite narrow, so you can fit them in between things or over objects, and that if you are limited for space. Now let's have a look at the lights. There are 3 lights that come in this pack. They also come with a 2.4 gigahertz remote, so they can be controlled with that remote. They are RGB mode. You can get color temperatures of 3200K up to 5600K, and the brightness ranges from 10% all the way up to 100%. Now these lights are also known as wand lights, so if you want to call them a wand light, then do so. But yeah, these LEDs, they are 296 LED beads on these lights. They are pretty bright. You'll see when I start testing them later on in the video. They have a screen on the back where you can control them manually, as well as the remote, so all the features are available on the lights as well as on the remote. You can see the thickness of these lights compared to a Sharpie pen. They're actually quite thin, and what's nice about them is because they are thin and narrow and very bright, they can fit into areas where you can't normally fit really big studio lights and things like that. Looking at them from the back, you can see we've got the handle, which is movable and adjustable, so you can hold them with your hand on the grip, and the grip is adjustable by 180 degrees, so it can flip 90 degrees either way. And you can see here there's a little holder space for a battery. The batteries are not included, but you can get them as add-on accessories. So looking at the handle, we can adjust it backwards and forwards. You can tighten it so you can adjust the light and hold them up and down as you want, and you can control them. They are not heavy at all, so your wrists and arms will not get tired holding them, and they're very easy to use as well. Looking at the adjustable lever, you can see it's got some space for the poles to fit through. That was the pole which I will show you in a minute how it would fit. And this clamps onto the pole, and one side will have the sandbag, the other side will have the light, and that can be adjusted left and right on the bigger tripod or up and down, where the other lights will be fixed in a vertical position. But again, you can use the handles to adjust them up and down by 180 degrees either way. Looking at the plugs and cables that come for each light, they are power adapters which are direct current 12 volts and 2.5 amps. The cable's actually quite long, so you can plug them in and still reach the lights in a bigger room that you might have. And again, you could buy the batteries if you don't want cables all over the place. Looking at plugging them in, you can see it's fairly easy. There's a small hole at the bottom of the light just next to the handle where you can put the plug in, and it plugs in fairly easy. It holds in place, it doesn't fall out, and if you want, you can hold the cable with the handle when using it. So let's have a look at the remote now. Now, as you can see, it's quite small. There's minimal buttons. It's a clean finish, simple. It requires 2 AAA batteries, which are not included once again, so you need to get your own batteries for this. This remote is 2.4 gigahertz for signal strength, so you can use this up to about 30 meters. It will lose a bit of strength when there's walls and that in between. Moving on to the boom arm that comes with the sandbag. So you can see at the end it's got that small hole, and on the bag you've got the screw which fixes into that hole, which I'll show you how that looks now once inserted and screwed in. So that will create the weight on the one side of the pole, and the light will then be able to move up and down, and then you can use the lever holder which I've got here, and that can then fix it into place as you desire for your lighting needs. At the top of each tripod you can see there's a small little black plug, and you can see when you try and fit the lever as well as the lights on top, the little black plug gets in the way. So just remember to remove that to reveal the thread that's underneath, and then you can fit and tighten the lights as well as the lever arm onto that. Once everything is set up, you can then secure the light to the top of the arm as well as the sandbag on the other side, and then you can adjust it to where you want it for your lighting needs. Now, securing the light to the end of one of the tripods or the extra arm, you can see that plastic cap or rubber cap on the end needs to be removed, like I'm doing so now, and then that allows the top of the pole or tripod to move right into the light, and then you can secure that with the tightening screw, and then that fits nice and tight, and you can extend the light quite far with the poles or the tripods. And you deserve. Once again, you can adjust the lights by 180 degree angles, as you can see here, so you can face them all the way back so the light's shining to the ceiling, or you can face them all the way forwards like so they're shining down, and then you can use the boom arm or the tripods to adjust the heights and distance that you require for your lighting. To power on the lights, make sure you plug in the adapters that come with the lights. Make sure they're plugged in nice and secure, and they're really easy by switching them on the back panels of each light. There's a power button, You've got some dials to change the sensitivity of the dimness and brightness, as well as the lighting between 3200K and 5600K, so that can be done. You can also adjust the channels that these lights are on, so that the control can also work with all 3 lights at once, or you can change the channels and you can adjust each light individually with the remote, or you can change them on the back panels as I'm doing here. And you can see just above the screen you've got that placement where the battery can plug in as well, so then you can be free of cables and you can move around freely with these lights as well. Changing the brightness of the light can be done with this dial. As you can see by my fingers that I've left at the top there with the red, you can see as the brightness goes up how bright the red gets on the screen. It actually discolors the screen color. So it's very easy to use. The back panel is pretty self-explanatory with the channels up and down, the different modes that you get, and then you get the dials as well and the power button. The light works really well. It's really responsive. The buttons are nice to press. The dials are easy to turn and they're secure, and they don't just turn on their own, if you bump them or loose or anything. The lights are bright. There is a bit of warmth when you're holding them, so they do generate a little bit of heat. But other than that, they actually really work well. The lighting is good. This is during the day, so you can see how bright they actually are. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed with them so far. Now looking at the remote, it's easy to use. You press the on button, it switches the remote on, and you press it again, it will switch the lights on. So whatever lights are plugged in and ready to use, those will come on. So if you've got all 3 plugged in, all 3 of them will come on all at once. It's very responsive. It's just as responsive as the dials on the back of the lights. It's really good. So I'm impressed with that. With the minimal button interface, it's very easy to use. The CH is for the changing of the channels, so you can change the different channels, and moving through the settings you can change the dimness as well as the color temperature range as well. And that's just the plus and minus. You can move these numbers up and down whatever setting you are on, and that would change on the lights. So we will now move into the next part of the video where I actually show the lights working as I use the remote. I've set up all 3 lights and turned all 3 on with the remote, and as you can see the settings are exactly the same as what the remote is displaying from the back panels of each light. So I've got those set up, I'm ready to run them, and we will see how responsive these lights are. All 3 of them are on the same channel, so the remote controls all 3 of them at the same time. And now you'll see I'll turn the intensity of the brightness up, and you'll see how responsive that is as I press the button, and the brightness goes up quite quickly. And then it will come down. You can see in the blurred vision of the screen of the remote that the numbers were changing. I do bring it closer now so you can see those numbers once it focuses. So you can see the dimness is all the way down to 10%, and then as I increase it you can see how bright the light actually goes, and it's really responsive. It's really quick, so that's really good. It's good to know that they're that quick and responsive. So the next thing I look at is the color temperature here. So this can go up to 5600K. Now you can see as I go down the color of the light gets a bit warmer, and then as you go up it gets quite bright. And then you can see here I'm just testing some of the features, the FX features that come with it. So I'm going to cover those off in the video soon. So there's 10 of them, and each of them comes with a speed setting as well, so you can increase the speed the light's flashing or dimming or whatever the effects that you've selected takes place, so you can actually speed them up or slow them down. So these lights are quite versatile. They're actually really impressive. So the first of the 10 effects that you get is the police car. So you've got the red and blue lights. These can be sped up with the other setting that I spoke about earlier. And this is one of the effects, which is pretty cool. So that's there. Then you've got the candle effect. So it's sort of got like a dimming, flickering kind of effects that goes on, and again you can speed that up. I'm just showing you the settings on the remotes as each effect is selected. The next one is paparazzi. So if you want your pictures taken and some flashes done, this is the setting to select. Then moving on to the fourth one. The fourth one is a TV setting, so it basically mimics the flashing of a TV program that's on, so that can be flashing through the blinds or through curtains and things like that, so that's pretty cool. The fifth one is lightning, so this one is pretty random. It flashes and flickers now and then. You can speed that up as well, where it gets more of a strobe light effect, so just be careful with that with the flashing lights. The next one is party. So this goes through all the colors. So if you do have a party, you can actually set up these lights in the corners of the room, and they're more than strong enough to make it a party mode or atmosphere. Another one is hue, so it's sort of like a Christmas tree and the lights flashing. You can have that so it fades in and out. There's the hue pulse, which is also similar to the first one, but it's more versatile with regards to the brightness and flickering, so sort of like fireworks. That's the picture they displayed with that one. Then there's a hue loop, so if you're driving down a road and the lights are approaching you, and then dimming, and lights are approaching you and dimming when you're driving under the lights, the road lights, that's what that is. Also lights from buildings. And then the last one is sort of a color temperature pulse, so that gives you a warm color, and it sort of flickers slowly and dims slowly, sort of like a fire or campfire that you might enjoy. But overall, these lights are really impressive. I'm actually quite surprised at how quick they respond with the remote. Like I mentioned before, the remote's got great range. You can control all the lights at once. You can control one at a time. You can manually control the lights. You can have different effects on all different lights going on at once. So there's just so many options and settings that you can do. They are narrow, so they can fit into corners. The stands are very tall and stable. Again, you've got the sandbag as well, so if you want to suspend a light over something that you can't really reach. You've got batteries that you can purchase, so they are wireless as well. So yeah, from my point of view, these lights are really impressive. So what I'll do is place a link in the description below of the video, so you guys can click on that and go and check them out on Amazon. They're from Amazon, yeah, you can have a go at those if you're looking for some studio lights. But I'm really impressed with these, and I'll see you guys for the next review. Thanks. Cheers.